Good Wednesday morning, and welcome to Ice Age TV, Internal Combustion Engine Age YouTube channel that talks about all my cars and trucks and SUVs, the motorcycle, the campers, the has-been pool. Yeah, wow. Wow. Look at the morning. It is overcast. It is misting. It's humid, though, so it's not cool up here. It's humid. Temperature is a lot up here right now. It kind of sucks, but it is what it is. Good Wednesday morning. It's already Wednesday. Hard to believe how the days just pass so quickly as you progress in life. But as always, good morning to all those that watch my channel, subscribe, and entertain me, which you do on your comments and participation. So thanks so much for being a part of the channel, because it means a lot to me. It truly does. And it's never ending. What does Mr. Iceman bring to you to intrigue you to turn on my channel and not get bored like Mr. Sanchez said yesterday from the Want video, that he was getting bored and starting to take a nice little nap? I said, well, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe my channel soothes you and makes you feel peaceful and calm and tranquil. And it's just, maybe that's a good thing for you. Maybe my channel's a great channel for you to watch when you want to have that midday cycle of your body, usually about the mid-afternoon, wants to go back into sleep mode and maybe turn on my channel and get a nice little nappy. So I don't know. That's what he said. But anyways, here we are. Lights, camera, action. Get the dogs up in the office so I'm not fighting the animals that seem to want to participate for the wrong reason. Especially that Kiefer boy. He got distracted. The kid distracted him right as I was walking out of the house. I'm getting a really late start. Wow. I'm getting a really late start, unfortunately. But it is what it is. And so, as always, it's always about saying good morning to Don in his nice truck. He's a boozer, freaking drinking all his beers. I tell you what a wild man. And so, here we are, talking once again, thinking about what do we talk about. And I think to myself, on Monday was the safe conversations. And as always, those that are new to the channel, don't think there's many. But if anybody's new, I take a word of the day, one word, and get creative with that one word, and try to use that word with the cars and trucks and motorcycles or whatever else we own, transportation-wise, that relates to us in the state of affairs, the modern times, what's going on around us in our country and the world. That's what I try to do. Try to kind of keep it mixture there. Don't get too radical to offend too many, which I have, I'm sure. But so the whole point is, the Monday word was safe. Yesterday's word was want. Today, I'm actually stumped. Even myself, I think that I've had this conversation. Couldn't find it in the library of my videos, but I could be wrong. But the word danger, I thought, wow, we haven't talked about danger? And I thought that really goes with the theme of the week. And that's what I try to do. I try to keep the words that I choose each day to kind of follow the theme of the week, what's going on. So the word of the day is danger. And I think to myself, boy, mankind is a danger to itself and not only to the Mother Nature world, because as we know, the Ice Age TV channel is all about the Ice Age, internal combustion engine age. Nobody's asking for stickers. I haven't been talking about it, but anybody out there wants a Ice Age TV sticker, it's going to be iceagetvcomments@gmail.com. I've got tons of them. If you want a few of them, I will send them to you. If you want to put it on your mirror in your garage, in your house, on your car, your bike, whatever you want to do. If you want to share the channel, share the flag. And so anyways, the danger among us is, as we know, the green agenda is truly convinced many of the high-powered people, not the majority of the population of the world, but many, that the EV age will take the danger away from the Ice Age, destroying Mother Nature Earth. It's a fact. I mean, if you really step back and look at what's going on in the world, the Chinese started it, though. The really the irony to all this is the Chinese back in 2000, they started the EV agenda. The government gave out, billions of dollars to entice people to get caught up in building electric vehicles. It's a fact. If you listen to my channel, you've heard this conversation a gazillion times. And there's abandoned electric vehicles in China like you can't believe. There is. It's a fact. Because so many of those startup companies back in the 2000 years were given the government entitlements money to try to make a company come to be and sell electric vehicles, which nobody bought. have gone kaput. But that's, now 10, 15 plus years ago. But the point is, the Chinese are the people that got the whole EV age really rolling, and Elon Musk rode off of that idea. I mean, Elon Musk is a very smart man, but the guy's smart in how he takes somebody else's idea. Don't build a new wheel, or don't reinvent the wheel. Just build a better wheel. That's the common knowledge in business, and how you become better than somebody else. You just take what they have and make it better. And so the danger is, once again, that we've been told from the green activists, and China for sure is probably funding these organizations. I really haven't thought much about that, but China's probably funding a lot of these, through channels of money to the green agendas to make China be the number one superpower of the world with the transportation infrastructure of electric vehicles, because they've already done it. They're already there. We're way behind them as far as that. So the green agenda activists have been giving billions of dollars. It's a fact. Look it up. I think they're over there in the Netherlands, I believe. You got to do a library search. I talked about this probably 2 years ago. But the green activist organizations worldwide, they have billions and billions of dollars to go force the hand that the ice age is a danger and threat to mankind and is going to ruin the world. Yet the ice age has been around really for over 100 years, not in the masses of what it is today. Ice age has been around probably for 200 plus years from the invention of the original engine. If you ever watch my channel, I had a whole conversation about that, about when was really the first ice vehicle, internal combustion engine, created. And you'll see that it goes back, I think, to the late 1600s, even the 1700s. But so the point is, the ice age, or we're being told that this is a danger to society, and you're a nuisance to society for participating in owning one, and you're a bad person. That's the underlying message to you, that you're not buying the gig that was really created more by the Chinese than anybody. I mean, has anybody really stopped and think about that? Even for me talking this morning, I really have not. And it's even amazing for me to even think that, wow, the underlying danger of this whole EV revolution is China. Because they really are, you can look it up. I'm not making things up here. This is not misinformation. Mr. or Mrs. Moderator at the YouTube studio that's sitting behind the scenes, listening to the Iceman talk. This is not misinformation. Don't label my channel. Go screw with somebody else, please. And give me my damn monies. You don't know how to litigate people. You're confused. So, the point is, the Chinese, for sure, probably are the biggest danger and threat to our country more than ever. And I think that people are like, well, we've heard that many times. We've all had the thought of they're in the media, they're into TikTok. I mean, it's just infinite, all the things that the Chinese are doing to undermine our country. But for whatever reason, the Joe Biden machine, the Green Agenda machine, the Democratic Party machine supports all the undermining of our country by using the Chinese technology and knowledge in supporting the Green Agenda that's probably funded heavily by the Chinese government. Yeah, I mean, sincerely, once again, I really haven't thought much about this. It'd be so intriguing to see where all these monies are coming from that are funded to the Green Agenda that gives them the powers to be to go to Ford and have Jim Farley there and his late cousin, Chris Farley, there as well in mind and spirit. Listen to the people run their mouths, and then like Chris Farley, he has this goofy doofus look on his face, and then there you go. Jim Farley's like, hey, yeah, man, everybody's gonna want a electric car. Everybody's gonna want one. Yeah, let's just revamp the whole Ford manufacturing to everybody's on an electric car. Yeah, and then I'll sell them all these electric cars, and then a year later, they'll be worth nothing. Wow. Hey, what a great idea. What a great idea. Hey, Mr. Brian K., I sold my Mach-E. I traded my Mach-E in for this F-150 Lightning. Brian's such a character. I love his content. He makes really funny comments on my channel. So yesterday, he was like, you got to get rid of that Mach-E. And I'm kind of got like the emoji like, what? What are you talking about? So he's, it's hard to stay up to speed with my channel with all the different cars and motorcycles and things I have. And people keep on reaching out on the F-150 Lightning truck. I really don't know what's wrong with that thing. I think it's a drivetrain module problem or a wheel motor. I don't really even know. I don't really care. I hope that damn thing stays there forever. I wish Ford would just take it back. I hope it turns into a lemon. Yeah, right. It already did turn into a lemon, Mr. Iceman. Right. So the black truck, it's waiting on a part. Apparently a part that's going to take 2-3 weeks to get it. So I don't know. And then the white Mach-E that my wife had that I bought for her that she never drove it. So I came to closure, how do I get rid of that? And I lucked out because this was the leftover 23 Lightning, and it had huge incentives on it to bury all that negative equity of that Mach-E into this. Yeah, this is no lie, I needed basically $30,000 of play money to get rid of that Mach-E because I traded 2 cars for that Mach-E that had negative numbers into the Mach-E, but the Ford Motor Credit bought the deal because it's the hottest item out there, and even though it's a $70,000 car, they'll buy it for $90,000. And then once I bought it for 90 grand, and the value of it went down to about 35 to 40, I got a huge problem. And after 2 years of having it, I was finally able to get rid of it because I paid down some debt on it, but then I was able to roll $20,000+ into this damn thing. So that thing would be here forever. Who doesn't know these stories, right? Yeah, the danger of the manufacturers finagling, swindling deals, well, they'll buy all this negative debt in these cars. It's really bad because they wouldn't buy the debt and you couldn't buy another car. That would be my story. I wouldn't have nearly none of these cars that I have sitting here, not these here. Nothing was traded for those. But when I go to trade something, it's ridiculous. You know the story. If you didn't put down $20,000, $30,000, even that you would sort of be sucking wind of the value you're going to give you your car. The danger. So once again, the Ice Age is in danger of being extinct. But it's not. I mean, I think that's what the green agenda, the liberal-minded person, and I'm not going to hear say that every liberal-minded person is all hell-bent on the green agenda, but that's the perception that you get, is that it's more the left-leaning type of people that want the green agenda. Not saying conservatives don't want it either, but the whole point is not to get personal and start attacking other people with difference of opinions. And that's a danger that we live in society. It's very easy to get on social media, very easy for me to get on my YouTube channel. You start running your mouth, calling people out, and it's not right. You shouldn't do that because then you don't have direct confrontation if somebody's standing in front of you. And that's the danger of social media, is that people run their mouth and they hide behind the screen of their little device and they run their mouth. And they don't feel like they're going to be in any dangerous situation. In real life, you went up to a person that's not happy with what you're saying, you may be in an altercation like never seen. It goes on all the time. So for the Ice Age, yeah, the theme of my channel, the Ice Age, which I made up years ago, was the whole premise of the concern that the Ice Age is going to be forced to just exactly that. The Ice Age. It ain't going to be here anymore. Kind of like the dinosaurs, if you remember those stories. So I better get some water here. I got myself ready this morning. How about that? A little smart this morning, maybe. So what is the danger, as I've talked about all the time? The number one thing a motorcycle, the number one thing you're going to hear from most people is, this is dangerous to ride. And right, it is. Because people behind the wheel of a car are dangerous to drive. I'm right now having to take a driver's course because I got myself in trouble in the Ford Mustang Dark Horse, the Whipple horse. Yeah, I got myself in trouble. If you're watching my channel, you know I got pulled over for having too much fun in my car. It wasn't an aggressive driving ticket. It was just me having a lot of free-spirited fun and just nailing it. And the car would get up the road and back off and nail it and get up the road, not by any means cutting in between traffic, driving, stupid. But the thing is, I'm taking this iDrive safety course because it's going to give me a +5 points because I'm going to have a -6 violation. Yeah, if they actually take this ticket, make it a speeding ticket, we can't get it changed to failure to obey a highway sign, it's a -6 points. So I got +2 right now. So +2 +5 is 7. So I'll be at +1 if I take this course. And they actually charge me with that ticket, but we're only hoping that the judge and the prosecutor and the police officer will be a little more lenient for me because I've got a good driving record over the many years of driving, per se. My driving record looks good, and my age I am, and it really wasn't anything radical. And they'll see I took this iDrive safety course that I have intentions to be a better driver. So it's an 8-hour course online, which I'm taking, which is a long course. But I took this exact same course in person back in 2018 when I got myself in a lot of trouble in my Ford Raptor in January 2018, coming back from burying my father-in-law where my brain was mush. And I knew an undercover cop was behind me, but I forgot all about him. But whole point is I'm taking this class, and it just reinforces how dangerous mankind is behind the wheel of these cars. It's huge. The statistics of the people that die every year in cars and motorcycles and pedestrians, the danger to society is mankind. And these vehicles are a huge danger to mankind. I mean, worldwide, it's I don't even know the number. I mean, in this country here, it's about an average of 40,000 plus a year of people kill themselves in their cars. And it's typically SUVs and trucks and cars, passenger vehicles, not so much the big vehicles. The big trucks is like 11%. And I think that motorcycles is 15%, and then pedestrians just getting run over by vehicles that are a danger to them is 18%. So it's actually more dangerous to walk in the cities and streets than it is to ride a motorcycle. And I never really even thought of that, but that's a fact. But I can believe it, because I'm down there, and when I go into the cities and I'm having to park somewhere and walk, you just get caught up and you see how just the traffic flow, the people cut across streets, and then people are distracted. I mean, it's really bad. People have a cell phone in their hand. And I mean, there's a story here from 20 years ago when a prominent lawyer here in this area was on his cell phone and he was distracted, came up to an intersection to get on a main road, and a mother with a newborn baby with a stroller walking across, and he runs over the mother in a stroller and he kills the baby. I think he killed the mother too. And so, his life was over. So he's probably out of jail now because that's involuntary manslaughter, but if it's a double. But I would have to imagine he's probably maybe. But the whole point is we're a danger. All of us are a danger to society the minute we get in these vehicles, because if you read all the things that go on, it talks about people who get drowsy that are driving down the road at mid-afternoon, your natural biological clock. Become more, it's like 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Your body's taking a 12-hour cycle, and you just become more lethargic and sleepy. Who hasn't done that? I've driven up and down the Eastern Seaboard many, many times where it's very challenging being behind that wheel of that car. They say that what's crazy is as you're behind the wheel of a car X amount of hours, it then really turns into your borderline like drinking. They say if you drive for 24 hours straight, for the most part, you're just like a drunk driving down the road for your cognitive skills and your awareness and who you are. So once again, it's all. And then they talk about how people take all these sleeping pills. No, they don't take those. They take the what's amphetamines or whatever it is. What's the drug? I don't even know. I've never taken them. That the truck drivers are known to take. Maybe even airline pilots take them. It's to keep you awake, and that's highly. I drive safely is like you just don't want to do that. And so then drugs. The drugs and alcohol are a huge impact of why mankind is such a dangerous society, because so many people drink and drive. And then they show the video of the poor young kid that was a high school all-star athlete. They had parties with all his buddies, and then he drives home drunk and he kills 2 young girls. I mean, so you see those videos. I'm sure anybody's been at driver's ed or went to high school with their kid, which I did with Julia, and you saw the driver education program that they were going to go through, and they highlight, the poor young girl that partied her ass off and then she drives home and kills herself, or the student that just won the award and gets in their daddy's truck and drives down the road so fast that they lose control of it and hits a tree and kills himself. That's usually they snap their neck. That's usually kind of what plays out in those type of high impact that you kill. So you're a danger to yourself in so many ways. All these vehicles around me, I'm a danger myself. You've seen it in my videos where I just about died on Easter weekend because of a lady that pulled out in front of a main road with never stopping to allow the people on the main road. She didn't observe that. She was like, screw that. I'm just going to drive as fast as I can. Runs a stop sign and pulls right out in front of me where I was borderline just within, a second of difference of being launched off this bike and possibly, not be here anymore. You wouldn't even know me. My channel wouldn't even exist anymore, and it would be, that's it, over. Iceman's dead. Yeah, he's hit the ice age for sure. He's ice. So the danger once again, it's the danger. And that's what we hear more than ever. It just seems like that's the rhetoric. Does not seem like that's the rhetoric of the undermining message in society. It's the danger. It's dangerous. Here, if you don't go to college, that's dangerous because you won't have a career. You're going to be a failure in life. If you don't go work out, that's dangerous because you're going to be overweight and not in good shape. If you go eat at McDonald's all the time, that's dangerous because you're going to become obese from eating all that fast food. Hey, you start going through the list of where the word of danger is always in our vocabulary. I'm going to go buy a gun because I feel that my life's in danger more than ever because the police have been told that they're not good people and they've changed their policies on how they arrest people. And then the DA, district attorneys of the states and cities have changed the laws of what's a crime, what's not a crime. And so I think many people are out buying guns in droves like never before because they feel like there's danger around us like never seen. I mean, I'm with you. Where is it? I don't see it. But at the same time, hey, the Hezbollah people would have told you yesterday morning, got out of bed, that it's another beautiful day for them. And if you know all about that, the Hezbollah were finagled. I mean, it's a classic. I mean, it's radical. It just keeps on pushing the button of how much further can this country go and not be in direct conflict and danger of what's going to play out in this world that's going on more than ever under this administration that's managed to help us keep on funding wars and being wars. So if you're not abreast of what's going on, Hezbollah, these are the people that the Israel people say are terrible, nasty people that do devious things to their own kind. And apparently the Hezbollah clan decided to get rid of all their cell phones because they don't want to be tracked. So they get this great idea to buy pagers, which that goes back to my era and many other eras of the kinds of me, that you had a pager that would go off and you pull over to a payphone to make a phone call by that pager having a phone number on it or a message on there, call this number or whatever. I'm sure many people remember that from the 80s and the 90s. So over there, they got like 2,000 of these pagers from Taiwan, and for some reason yesterday, these pagers start exploding. Keithy boy! They start exploding and killing people. From what last time I read, it was 9 people dead, like 2,800 injured. And so then all the other Hezbollah people, realizing that their pagers were a bomb on the side of their hip or wherever they had it in their body, they decided to instantly, come here, Scouty, come on, boy, come on, let's go, come on, boy. They decided to start getting rid of these things as fast as possible. So who would even imagine that you bought it? But that's the thing where we live. As it's just incredible how the technology, the danger of technology around us is like never seen because of what things can be done with these electronics to blow you up. All right, hey Keith, you're not going in. All right, watch out, pups. Come on, go on. No, you're not going in. You're challenging. I know what you're gonna do. You're gonna harass that ginger baby, my little baby, my little girl. My favorite little girl is my little ginger baby, and he knows it too. He gets so jealous when I start giving her attention. So now, yeah, I would imagine anybody over there in Lebanon is probably looking around at every electronic device they have near them, and they're probably wondering when that's going to blow up. Talk about nerves to the max on that. So then here's a good article I read this morning on Bloomberg, and it's a great article because it talks about the danger of the future of the jobs and the infrastructure of our country. And it's a great article, and it's one of these things where this is kind of even hard to believe. And part of me is like, part of me says I believe it, other part of me says I don't. So U.S. faces a deficit of 6 million workers in less than a decade. So this article talks in great depth about where the skills and where the trades are going in the future in the artificial intelligence. But really what it talks more about is how mankind is a danger to himself. And what it talks about is how the younger generation of males are killing themselves like never seen. That's a major problem, that the younger generation of males are drug addicts, alcoholics, and I'm trying to find it here for you, and it's not easy. So it's really just talking about how over the next 10 years, there's going to be a shortage of good workers. And a lot of people would claim, well, the artificial intelligence is going to take all of it. And they're saying, no, it won't. There's just too many different trades and too many different things. And this just talks about here, majority of drug-related deaths or addictions occur among young men. And then it says alcohol is responsible for some 232 million missed work days. That's 112,000 things. But I just wanted to show you where it actually showed the number. Immigrants will likely be needed to take up some of the, for the U.S., born generation. But here's another thing to talk about, is that for the first time ever in 2027, there'll be more 65-year-olds than 16-year-olds. So there'll be more people retiring in the work, work segment. We're talking right now, 3 years from now, that there'll be more retirees than there actually will be let's see here. Here it is. In 2027, the number of Americans who turn 65, historically a typical retirement age, will exceed the number of that turn 16 for the first time. Meaning there may not be enough potential new entrants in the workforce to replace retirees. Let's see here. I was trying to find that article about what the men are doing themselves. It's really sad. What's going on in our country, the danger to ourselves, as I've said, is, we're a danger to ourselves because so many people become drug addicts, alcohol abusers. And what's the biggest number one thing that's going on in our country besides China helping the fentanyl trade and use go through the roof? I mean, once again, the danger of this country, it's just incredible how, even for me, I think, the China thing, so much rhetoric, so much old talk of China being the danger of our country. But now, and you don't know what to believe, and I don't disagree that it can turn into misinformation very quickly on my channel when you start talking about China and what's going on. Not a peep, not even mourning or nothing. Wow, interesting, right? Yeah, you saw that, right? Yeah, hey, Dad, how's it going? But if it was something new in the garage here, whole different energy in that, right? So even for me, so you hear now they're talking about how Iran, Russia, and China are among themselves talking. What are they talking about? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, and to me, that's even, I don't even know that's factual. Is it factual? Does somebody out there have any proof of that going on? That China and Russia and Iran are behind the scenes? North Korea now supposedly does have nuclear arsenal, supposedly. Who knows? It's funny how North Korea totally got off the radar screen. And this is where it goes back to the political times that we're in. Does anybody remember on how all we heard 24/7 4 years ago that a guy named Donald Trump was a danger to America? That this guy was the next Hitler. This guy's going to be a Hitler. I mean, does everybody remember on how all we heard 24/7 in the election year of 2020, that Donald Trump was an incredible danger to the well-being of our country? And that this new administration that would be elected into office would build back better this country, and it would be better than what Trump already succeeded at doing. Does anybody remember this? I mean, this to me, this is a kick in your face to stand up and understand that malarkey is beyond believable of what they presented to people, with what they pulled off, of what they're the danger of our country. Does anybody, I mean, this is, and I'm sure this will piss some people off that are on my channel that may be favoring Kamala Harris, but I don't think they're here anymore. I think they left. Or you're the Democratic-minded person. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, man. I heard 24/7, and I'm not here to promote Donald Trump. I'm not here to do that. But all I heard was Donald Trump was a danger to society in this country. That's all I heard. And all I heard was that he would ruin this country. And he would put us in wars. And he would be a military and a nuclear threat. Now, but yet here we are 4 years later to a T. And a Build Back Better, does anybody think that we have a Build Back Better? How the hell has anything been built back better? Everything is more expensive. You're watching my Gail's food and stuff, copycat, right issues, arguments behind the scenes, and I'm taking Gail's YouTube channel under my wing. Turned into the Ice Age food and stuff channel there, huh? Yeah, so the legal battle behind the scenes. You can't take that content and use it. Yeah, I was just kidding around here. Anyways, so the whole point is that here we are 4 years later and the Build Back Better. And if you watched me go to Costco yesterday and you see the prices of everything, but I know everybody out there will make the excuse, but. Oh, okay. You can always make excuses why things don't work out. You can always make those excuses. But the reality is the Build Back Better isn't happening. Yeah, the Build Back Worse is what happened. But the thing is, you can't even use that word, because how do you use that word and Build Back Worse when, what do you mean by worse? No, you should say just make it worse. So the danger of our country is the existing media machine, the existing city administration that continues to pound their fists that they're not the problem, that you're a danger to society. You're creating the problems. I mean, it gets heavy and deep, and I know that, and it goes down a rabbit hole. But what I'm saying to everybody here this morning is it's incredible on how 4 years later, the rhetoric of the danger, and this is the thing, and YouTube really can't make me be silent on this because it's in the general media. What is for the most part, the Democratic Party been running their mouth that Donald Trump is a threat and a danger to this country. And now what's happened to him? He's been tried to be terminated twice. Because for the average person that listens to the media, all they hear is they're hearing this rhetoric of could you even imagine if you were saying that about other people, political people? I mean, can you imagine? So, once again, not to go down the deep rabbit hole of all that conversation, but it's incredible on how the undermining message of our country today is it's in danger. We are in danger. And what you hear through all that is we're in danger because we're susceptible to a war. We're already in wars. We're in danger because of the green agenda feels that this country is one of the most pollutant countries of the world, even though China's right there behind us. So we're a danger to Mother Nature Earth because of all this carbon footprint that we're producing out of all these ICE vehicles. So we're a danger to society. You can start just going through a list of what we would all, okay, here's another thing. Many political figures feel like the right to bear arms is a danger to this country's well-being, that the citizens of this country shouldn't have the right to bear arms and you should have them removed. That's a big ongoing push of an underlying message that's just never ending on how the government is presenting themselves, political figures, that you're a danger to society to own guns because you don't know how to use them and you do bad things with them. I mean, that's a huge message underlying in our country. The illegal immigrants are a danger to the well-being of our country. And once again, that turns into a very argumental views of how you look at that and how you treat that. But it's a fact that the illegal immigration is a danger to the well-being infrastructure of our country. Legal immigration, I don't know why the legal immigration just isn't, I know it's a long due process, and even Elon Musk makes that comment too, that it's a long due process and it really needs to be changed, but do they really want to change it? And this is what's very interesting is I read a really good article yesterday that talks about where do most of the illegal immigrants go? And so 73% of the illegal immigrants go to the blue states and the blue counties. And so it only leaves you with 27% of the illegals go to the red states. So what it's basically saying is 73% of the illegals go for favor to the Democratic Party because they feel that they're not in danger of being kicked out and sent back as they go through the asylum process, blah, blah, blah. So they don't want to go to the red states, Republican states, because they're much more strict on what you can get away with of coming here and claiming asylum versus being sent back to your own country. And so, but then the underlying message is it's a danger to our country's well-being of how the voting systems are going to be working in the future, because so many feel that these illegals are being used as pawns to help the Electoral College win key states, swing states. That's what's interesting. A lot of these illegals go to these swing states and just really, there's a whole article on it. You can probably dig it up through the internet in general, but it's just very concerning that the illegals are on a mission to go and support the more favored Democratic Party because they feel like they're in danger in the Republican Party of having to come to, full face what's the real story. And for me, I have compassion for everybody in life. I get it. Somebody's having dire straits in another country to come here. I'm not against that. That isn't who I am. But at the same time, I think too many of us feel like with the czar of Kamala Harris supposedly being in charge of the border. I mean, for me, it's so bad. Kamala Harris is extreme danger to our country. Being what I mean by that isn't in a physical content. It is in meaning that she was supposedly the illegal immigration czar to try to get a control on the border and tame down all the illegals coming across here. But now that's just a pass. That's just, well, who really cares that she really didn't ever do that position? And she let, for the most part, the highest illegal immigration in our country in modern times. It's always been going on, and you'd be foolish to say that it's not been going on. It's always been going on, and it will continue to go on. But at the same time, you just feel like, wow, what's going on here? Why are you letting that happen? What's the underlying message which you want you to play out for you being in a lackadaisical position of mindset to let this happen? So that's it. I'm going to kind of cut it off there because it kind of gets heavy and deep, and it does irritate people. I'm sure of that, as I try to keep my car channel, the fun excitement of the cars and motorcycles. But at the same time, for me, we really are at the crossroads, in my views and eyes, that we live in a society. The social media is a danger to society because it so twists what the reality is. And that's the thing, that Elon Musk bought Twitter because he felt like Twitter is a danger to the social media because it was silencing those that had opposing views to have the right to freedom of speech. And that's where it's a very fine line today, is the freedom of speech of what you can say and can't say. Because then you become targeted that you're a danger to the well-being of others because of the comments you make and statements you make. That's very challenging, very challenging. And so many people, I think, are scared to really say because they feel like they'll be in danger of being targeted and being cut off and shuttered and silenced, which is too bad. But there's a fine line there on what you really should be voicing versus what you get too, you just get too radical. That's the thing. We try to keep it at a level-headed conversation of what we see and the dangers we see lie ahead. And once again, I don't think that Donald Trump will solve all the world problems. I don't believe that by any means. But I think at the same time, I think we need to change up. I think most people would agree. We need to change up. We got to change something here to start going a different direction for the direction we're going right now in this country. And I don't think it's for the better. And I think most people would agree with that. But why don't we just make it even better? What's wrong with that? What's wrong with changing up the quarterback or your key players into better key players and hope that they can pull it off and make things even nicer for you? So that's it. As all nice comments and all the fun that those that participate. And it's always just keeping a word of the day to kind of try to be transparent to what I feel like is going on around us. I think most of my subscribers would agree with that. And that's why they come back over and over again to watch me. And I think others, they just don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it because I feel like their just attitude is, it's not really going to play out that way and everything be okay. I think that's where people are. I wonder how the Hezbollah people feel that took the orders from the higher up to get rid of their cell phones, to get pagers, how they feel about that decision. Yeah, wow. And the decisions they've done to others that were made by the higher up as well. Be careful. Have a great day. God bless.